Welcome to Run It Back Philly. DJ Eastwood doesn't need your mother***ing intro.
I just put a post on Instagram a couple of hours ago just saying thank you to Joel Embiid because I remember drafting Joel Embiid. I remember drafting him injured. I remember, he had the broken foot coming out of Kansas. He fell in the draft at number 3. He missed his whole rookie season. He slowly became a mythical creature in the city of Philadelphia. And he re-injures the foot that he was rehabbing, misses his entire sophomore season. We make the trade for Dario Saric, and it became a thing in Philly that Joel Embiid's never going to play. He becomes a mythical creature in Philadelphia, to the point where it was like we knew he existed, but it was really hard to imagine ever seeing him on the floor. And we'd watch tape of him at Kansas, and we'd watch video of him practicing, rehabbing the foot. Right when he really started to become healthy, we would see videos of him working out in the gym. I remember a specific video of him working with a trainer, just doing things that somebody his size should not be able to do. And the naysayers were in the comments, of course. Anybody can do this against, a 5'10" trainer in a gym. Anybody can do this against what? But I was watching the actual technical skill that was being displayed. The naysayers were always, well, he's not going to be able to do this. He's not going to be able to do that in the NBA. He's not going to be able to do that against NBA defenses, against blah. I'm like, I'm breaking it down to something very simple here. I'm watching a 7-foot, 280-pound person hit hesitation dribble, double shimmy, turnaround fadeaways. I'm watching a guy take one dribble and dunk from almost the foul line. I was watching a level of skill, whether it was in a gym by himself or whatever. We were watching a level of skill that looked out of this world. So he became this mythical creature that we knew if he ever got on the floor, we knew if he ever gets that foot healthy, if he ever gets on the floor, he's going to be amazing. And then he gets healthy, plays part of his technical rookie season, I guess. And then what did he do? Tore his meniscus or something else. But his debut was incredible. And it just looked like, wow, we have a once-in-a-lifetime player on our hands. We have a once-in-a-lifetime player on our hands. And then he missed the rest of that season. They sat Ben again because he broke his foot and all that stuff happened. But last season was the first season, and Joel missed a large part of that one too, or at least 30 games or whatever. But we knew just by watching his level of skill that if he ever was fully healthy, he would be absolutely unstoppable. And I have one thing to say to you, Sixers fans, that were there from the beginning of this Joel Embiid thing, that believed from the beginning, that said all of the things that I'm saying right now. God damn it, you were right. You were right. We were right. We were right. We were right. We knew it, and we were right. If this dude is ever healthy and plays a full season, he could possibly be one of the best centers to ever play the game. And we were judging it just strictly based off of his skill level and what we were watching in the rehab sessions, in the random videos, whatever else. We were right. Joel Embiid this season finally had a full season, no major injuries, had caught COVID, of course, because why wouldn't that happen to Philadelphia when he finally doesn't have any physical injuries? I guess COVID's a physical injury. I don't know how you want to categorize that, but he missed some games with COVID. But this was the first season of his career that he was fully healthy, and he did so many things this season that no NBA center has ever done. just led the league in scoring. The first center to do that since Shaquille O'Neal in 1999-2000 season. Not only that, broke the damn record for 40 and 10 games in a season, the all-time NBA record. Wilt Chamberlain, Moses Malone, Russell Westbrook, Hakeem Olajuwon, Tim Duncan, Shaquille O'Neal, on and on and on and on and on. The most any player has ever had in a season. The most 40 and 10 games any NBA player has ever had in a season was 12. Joel Embiid, ladies and gentlemen, has 13. Joel Embiid has the player that we knew, if he ever actually got healthy, had the potential to be one of the best ever. 5, 6, 7 years later, finally had a healthy season and has more 40-point, 10-rebound games than any single player that has ever played basketball. Also, Joel Embiid's last game of the season, the last game of the best season of his career so far, which is this season. The last game that he played this season, he had 40 points, 20 rebounds on 80% from the field. Do you know how many? Here's a list of players in NBA history that have scored 40-plus points, 20-plus rebounds on 80+% from the field. Joel Embiid. We just witnessed, I seriously, I don't want to skip over this. I don't. And this whole video might just be me talking about how amazing Joel Embiid was this season. We just witnessed one of the greatest seasons in the NBA from a single player in the history of the game. We just witnessed one of the greatest seasons for an NBA player in the history of the game. And I don't give a damn about an MVP voting. I don't care because, like, let's be serious. We got dudes on ESPN that have no business probably even talking about sports, voting on who wins the MVP. I don't really care about it. But we know, Philly, we know. We just witnessed one of the greatest NBA seasons of all time. And that's not even taking into account the fact that his right-hand man, his number 2 quit. Left him high and dry to start the season. He played most of the season with a 21-year-old point guard who was trying to learn how to be a facilitator while the damn season was going on. Then the trade goes down. He gets a new point guard who's a great facilitator, and it's probably the best thing that's ever happened to Joel Embiid in his career as far as floor spacing, setting him up and getting him the ball in one-on-one situations, running a pick and roll, getting him the ball in the right spots to maximize his potential in the half court. And he adapts to that also. And not only continues his scoring, but ups his scoring. He carried this team through adversity, through a grown 25-year-old crybaby quitting, refusing to come back, and now suing the organization for not getting paid to come to work. I don't know. Can't figure that one out. Joel Embiid withstood all of that. Hardly ever spoke out against anybody. Hardly ever said anybody's name in vain. Does absolutely nothing wrong. Plays the damn game, goes home to his beautiful supermodel wife and beautiful baby, plays video games with his nephews and cousins, comes back and plays basketball again, is never in trouble, just never does anything wrong. This is the most perfect NBA basketball player that's ever been in Philadelphia. And I think people live in the moment, and I live in the moment too, but I think when something like this happens, we need to really put in effort to appreciate it. Because naturally, I think you're just going to watch it, and it's going to be gone. Time flies. Time flies. The window for a player like Joel Embiid is not very long. Right now, you're probably looking at 5, 6, 7 years of 7 more years of this if he remains very healthy, and you know, that's probably best case scenario. I'm just saying, time flies. One of the greatest players to ever play the game is wearing a Sixers uniform representing Philly, and we need to appreciate it. Thank you all for listening to that.